Well, this week on the Homestead, we've got a fun project coming up. It's not all chicken coops and gardens and solar panels around here. Okay, maybe it's all been chicken coops and gardens and solar panels, but we've got a 21st birthday party coming up and we've got about 60 people that we need to host, and what we don't have is toilet and shower facilities. So what do you get when you take some old corrugated iron, some turn-of-the-century decking boards, some tree trunks for posts, and a copper shower head? You get a rustic style off-grid amenities building. Well, that's the plan anyway. Just up from the chicken coop, which is just up from the tiny home, there's this tree, and then it's got a tree about 6.5 meters that way, which is a nice alignment on a nice level pad of ground. We've picked this spot not only because it's kind of out of the way, but also it has this magnificent view. And we've wanted for a while now to build a guest toilet shower facility, and we wanted it to be kind of semi-outdoors and a little bit rustic in style. That's kind of our aesthetic. So we've dropped a whole bunch of trees, some that look really funky. That's kind of becoming our thing. I've got all of this corrugated iron, some turn-of-the-century hardwood decking planks that are going to feature in the doors. We've got some copper work that we're going to do. We want to do exposed copper. That's going to look really cool, and we want to attach it directly to this live tree. So 2 corners of the facility are going to be live trees. The rest of them are going to be tree trunk style posts. It's going to be surrounded by corrugated iron. It's going to have a roof, but not for all of it. We want the shower to be completely open at the top. So the hardest part of any project is the prep work. I've dug a bunch of the holes already. We've used the tractor and auger to do most of that work for us. We've kind of leveled out, or actually created, a shower pan with a bit of a fall to one corner, and then we're trenching away from that corner. Now it's time to get stuck into the build. Well, we're about 4 or 5 days into this build, and in the last couple of days the weather has just decided to chuck it. So we've had downpours over the last 48 hours. It's turned my site into an absolute mess. If you've ever done any kind of like fencing or, you know, ground preparation work, you know, you've got clay everywhere that with water just turns to a mucky mess. So I'm taking this opportunity, a little bit of a break in the weather, to do a bit of a site cleanup. We got the first part of the roof on. Now, my biggest challenge with doing an all natural build like this with natural branches and timbers is trying to get that roof nice and straight. And you can probably see I've got that in the shot there. We've got this nice little wave happening in the corrugated iron roof. That's okay, we're kind of going with it. If I really feel like it's a problem or something that I want to change later on, I might just change those rafters out for milled timber. But for now, I'm going to persist with trying to find the straightest branches we can. We decided to make one change, and that is I'm not going to do the corrugated iron on the walls vertically. So you'd normally do that, and normally I'd have kind of rails on the walls to attach them to, but again, trying to find straight timbers to do that with is going to be challenging. So we've made the distance between the posts the same as the distance, or shorter than the distance of the length of the corrugated iron, and so we're going to hang them horizontally, and we're pretty sure we can get away with just 2 pieces horizontally. There'll be a little bit of a gap down the bottom, but it'll give enough of a privacy screen for the toilet section here and the shower section right at the end. And we've got to work out what we're going to do with the floor. I don't have a lot of time between now and when the party is. It's about 6 days away, and so we'll do the shower floor obviously the way we're planning, with gravel and pavers, but I think for the rest of it we might actually just do like a wood chip mulch for now, just to make sure that if it does rain, although it's supposed to clear up, but if it does, we've got something kind of nice and not muddy to walk on. only just here a couple of days ago replumbing and sorting all of this out for our water tanks hookup, and I'm kind of glad I did because everything's neat and tidy right now, but I need to tap in a couple more lines. This is the beauty of being able to do DIY plumbing, and it's why I love working in poly pipe. It's a little bit more expensive than, say, like working in PVC pipe, but being a farmer, this is what I know, and it's nice and easy because it's plug and play and you can pull it apart and put it back together. It's kind of a bit like Lego, and so you do have a bit of fun doing it. I'm going to tap into our cold water here. So this is my pressure tank and pump. If I put a T here, that'll give me pressurized cold water. We can send that way to the shower block. And then this is my hot water line. It's a PEX line, and I've got a PEX T fitting. So we're going to send some hot water in the same direction. And it's only about 25, 30 meters up that way. We picked that location based on how close it was to the hot water system, because obviously we're going to lose a bit of heat. I'm using this PEX line because it maintains a bit of heat and will bury it. And I'm going to run it past the chicken coop. In fact, I'm going to run it through the chicken coop so I can tap into that cold water at a later stage. Another project I want to do is automatic watering for our chickens. So this is a composting toilet, and I'm comfortable being up close and personal with it because if you know anything about composting toilets or human manure, you'll know they don't smell at all. If you want to know more, check out this video. I won't give you all the details because these guys do a much better job of explaining how it all works, but it is a very ancient and incredibly healthy practice. It seems like a waste to waste all this waste, and so all of the byproduct of this process is going into our land fertility over a long drawn out period of time. It fits the overall aesthetic of this building, of this bathroom, and of course it fits our philosophy of regenerative land management practices. Well, we are all wrapped up. The project's finally done, but as this is Kirsty's grand design and vision, I reckon we're going to let her give you the grand tour.
So this was one of those moments that I have a lot in our relationship where I was like, but what if we did it like this? So this is what we've come up with, and I'm going to show you what we've done with very little money and using a lot of natural resources from our farm. So come on. So this is actually my favourite part of the whole build. Natural spaces and just spaces in general are really important to me. We've renovated before, we've done all of these things, but this is kind of my creativity coming to life. There's 4 things that have actually come from the farm that make up the majority of the build. First thing, obviously, the timber. And when I saw this tree, I knew that this was the tree that needed to be, that held the shower up. So the timber has come from our farm. The rocks have come from our farm. Now these, we chose the rockiest part of the whole property to build on, which has been fantastic, and there have been many ankle injuries because of it. But we've dug all of these up and now we want to use them for our landscaping. And then what's really exciting is that these have even come from our farm. So we have previously on this farm, about 20 years ago, there was a sand mining operation that left half of it desolate, but what it also left was this gravel. So we washed it, no, we dug it out, then we washed it some more, and that has been used to create the floor pan of the shower. And the 4th thing, mulch. We didn't really want to build a floor in here because it's an outdoor shower, it's going to get wet anyway, so we'll just keep topping up this mulch as we go. So one of the things that we've been holding on to for years now are these old decking timbers that came off of a turn of the century house from Burleigh, where we used to live. And we really wanted to make it special when we used it. So that has created the timber for our doors. 100-year-old timber, still going strong. Overall, I am 100% over the moon with how this turned out. I can't wait for our guests to use it. They're about to start rolling in for a huge weekend, so I better get going. Time to prep. Until then, we'll see you next week.
And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more.